Hello? Hello, Carina.
Yes, can you listen to me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Satu?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah. Your voice is very low.
Is it? Because I am wearing these the headphones.
Okay.
Can you listen to me? Maybe
Yeah,
if
I
I
can
put...
hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me put this.
So, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Are we live?
Your sound is still not so good.
Okay. And if I try like this, can you listen to me?
Same. The sound is
Ah,
same.
okay. To put the volume louder in the computer, but it's the same. I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna try to speak more in. I want to speak more in here, maybe. I will try to speak closer with the microphone close to my
Okay.
voice.
Yeah.
If that makes any difference.
Okay. Good. So, uh, good evening, everyone. So today we are here with you, with Carina. Um, to have just a normal discussion and a journey to uh, the life. Yeah. So first of all, well, just a normal discussion and conversation. So Karina, would you like to introduce
Yes, sure.
yourself a little bit?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carina. I'm living in Aberdeen for 6 years now, and I'm originally Portuguese, and I came to UK in 2012. So that's when it starts my journey in UK. Yeah, and I work. I'm a biologist. I work in a marine laboratory, and that's me. Ajan. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Okay. I cannot.
Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear now. Sorry. This is a bit of a connection problem. Yes,
Uh,
I can listen now. Yes.
Okay. So I believe you have been to Thailand as well.
Yes. So what happened is that when I first came to Scotland in 2012, um, I met two great friends of mine, and one is from Thailand, and the other one is from Vietnam. And at some point, I went to Thailand to visit this friend of mine, and yeah, it was. It kind of opened me a path that I was looking for, and I didn't know. And so this curiosity of finding out and exploring and know that what bring me into the mindfulness courses first and to Buddhism as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very impressed when I visited Thailand. I was very impressed because when I arrived to Bangkok and he went to pick me up, and the traffic jam is just chaotic. But I never heard nobody horn to each other with the car.
Uh-huh.
It was
Uh-huh.
like if everything fits in perfectly. It's like people are expecting it or respect each other. That was one of the most amazing things that I experienced there.
How long did you stay in Thailand?
I stay a month, only a
A
month.
month.
Yes,
Okay.
and
Mm.
so yes, I visit Bangkok. I arrive in Bangkok, but is living in Chiang Mai. So
Mm-hmm.
we stay in Chiang Mai, and then we went to Bangkok as well to visit his family. We went down a bit more south to Chonburi. Is that
Chonburi,
right?
yeah.
Chonburi,
Mm.
yes.
Mm.
And we went back to Chiang Mai, and then we went to Pai as well.
Okay.
That is closer to the borders. Is with Myanmar, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
did you learn some Thai language?
no, just Swadika, Swadika, Kom Kung Ka.
ขอบคุณค่ะ yeah, eh?
That's the only thing, because it's very different, and the same letters can have the same like just the sound if you swallow it more or not, so you can say different things. So it's difficult.
Yeah.
It was difficult. Yeah, that was the only two things.
Uh-huh. So before going to Thailand, were you aware of any Buddhism?
No, so well, I was only aware of the most well known, like the Tibetan Buddhism and
Okay.
Dalai Lama.
Mm-hmm.
I had read the book Siddhartha,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like 15 years old or something like that, and at that point it didn't make much sense to me. I was like,
Okay.
why does a man live like his life of luxury and goes and meditate under the trees? That for me was like, at that age, was a bit like nobody does that. It's like
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and then yes, and then later on in life we met again,
Uh-huh.
with another perspective from my side, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And how did you come to know about the center?
So yes, so what happened is that I went to visit him, and then I was trying to find here in Aberdeen Buddhist centers, and I found first the one in Hazelhead, and I went once, but because it was mainly in Thai, I could not understand.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a bit difficult for me to follow it, and then obviously yes, I had my son. He was quite sick when he was young, so I didn't have much time for myself, to be honest. And at some point, I saw in a newspaper of the waiting room of my dentist. I saw this newspaper about mindfulness sessions in
Mm-hmm.
the health center,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to a couple of them, and then David suggest the mindfulness course,
Yeah.
and I did the course with David, and then it was through David that actually I met the center
Mm-hmm.
after yeah.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, mindfulness meditation, the Mindfulness Mondays has been we introduced to this health village for a long time, since 2017, and every month we had that sessions and through that, I believe, a lot of people benefited as well. And every sessions, we can see about 30 to 40 people, isn't it?
Yes,
So
it
it
was a
was
lot
a
of
lot.
people.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm. So how
yes.
did you find when you attended this Mindfulness Mondays?
So like the first of all, I didn't have any background or experience on
Mm-hmm.
meditation.
Yeah.
So I really thought that meditation was like, okay, we stop thinking and we stop thinking and that's it, and we just feel calm and stuff like that. But so
Okay.
um, it was very interesting because the first time I went to the session on the Mindfulness Mondays in the health center with you.
Yes.
So the first thing is like you were doing the guided meditation, and I was just seeing colors, and I just was getting attached to that beautiful colors, and they were getting enhanced and more enhanced, and that is very interesting. How with the practice your concept change.
Mm-hmm.
So bit by bit you will leave all of that, the
All
colors and
those past concepts.
exactly. That's
Uh-huh.
very interesting. Yes. So
Okay. What was your first impression when you see me in that room teaching?
um so because I had seen the monks in
Be-
Thailand,
yes.
I was really like thinking like is out of place,
Mm.
like it's out of place, like how can a Buddhist monk can be in here in the Western.
Aberdeen.
Yes, and in Aberdeen, that is the most amazing thing. And in Aberdeen, so handy. So um, and then I realized that yes, I mean it's not, it's a completely new concept
Mm-hmm.
for Westerners. If you are not used to it, if you don't follow Buddhism, if you don't meditate, I didn't know. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know, and it's a big impact, but it's in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
In a good way, it's as if even if we are not used to it,
Yeah.
it's kind of we automatically respect it because
Mm-hmm.
it's like is a neutral figure.
Mm-hmm.
Is how can I say, it's like not womble, but like transparent. It's kind of it's a peaceful figure basically.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah,
remember, I remember when I was walking in the city, some of the people when they saw me, they would normally come and oh, it's like a complete aliens, in
exactly.
dropped in Aberdeen, and then when sometimes when they come for mindfulness Mondays in the early days, they was like to will be very amazed what he's gonna say, whether he speaks English or not.
Yes,
Normally I will be sitting quiet for sometimes let this everybody settle down, and when I say hello, it's like everybody is opening up their eyes and say, oh,
yeah.
you know.
It's not is not normal. I actually have this sensation that if I am seeing it, if I am experiencing, it's because like it's kind of a bless.
Mm,
It's not because it's not everybody that has these opportunities, if you know what I
mm.
mean.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think again, sometimes people do have an opportunity to come across with a Buddhist monk like me or even other monks, and have access to the temples and opportunity to speak with the monks. But I think normally they forgot to take that opportunity to learn.
yes, or
I would say.
I think as well that people don't know how to react as
Hmm.
well.
Yeah, I think
And
that's another issue as well. I have faced too. Few people
yes,
came and say, what do I say to you, and how to say, and how to speak. Somehow they have a fear as well. Did you have that
Yeah.
fear?
It was not fear. It was like uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know, like, for example, if I should disturb or not, because
Mm,
from the visit in Thailand, you go to the temples and you see the monks meditating, you don't disturb at all. So it was
mm.
kind of, I didn't want to interrupt anything, or I didn't know what. it was not fear. It was like, I didn't know, like, what to do.
Unknown, probably.
Yes, it's the unknown.
Uh-huh. Okay. So in there, is there any particular reason, let's say leave the visit in Thailand, is there any particular reason that drawn you to the practice?
Yes, I think everything in our life, in the individual life, it's connected,
Mm-hmm.
and it always happen with a reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing when I first came in, and the first people that I met, it was these two friends that were from Asia. I could have met
Mm.
anybody else, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
them.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, and then one of them was passing through some difficulties in his PhD thesis, and I was wondering, and he was always like calm, and
Mm.
even you could see that sometimes he was a bit stressed. He's always trying to answer you, like paying attention, and I was like, what is behind that? What is
Mm.
behind that? And I wanted to explore it more.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point as well, before I passed through a very bad moment in my life, where I had a very, like, strong nervous breakdown,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it makes part of the human being have faith. Faith
Mm.
helps, whatever it is, the faith. It
Yeah.
helps in dark moments.
Uh-huh.
And I born in a Catholic country. My parents, my family, they are Catholic. So I was baptized. I was going to Sunday schools. I did all of these sacraments, etc. And then at that point, when I was passing through that, I was kind of hoping in having some help. And what I felt was judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that everybody, like, it's a human nature, like, to be judgmental, but
Mm.
sometimes we don't have to be like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of put it on a side and drop it. So I was kind of looking for something to help, like, in this kind of dark moments, that
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm.
a faith, a big this strong feeling. And yes, and so after I met these two friends, I was like, maybe that's what I need. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's what maybe I need to know me more
Mm-hmm.
before,
Mm-hmm.
so I can kind of help myself before I can like, advise or help somebody else. And that was the main reason
Mm.
when everything started. And then
Uh-huh.
again later on, when I had my son, because of the condition, like, he born very premature, like, and it's a kind of a weird moment, because you feel down, but it's kind of, you have to
Mm-hmm.
keep going,
Mm-hmm.
because there's another small being, like, depending on your encouragement and stuff like that. And
Mm.
sometimes I remember people asking me, so how do you do it? How can you support it? And my only answer, like, it was like, I just breathe.
Mm.
I just breathe. It was like, if I was just paying attention, like, to the breathing, it was the thing that was keeping us alive. It was the
Yeah.
breathing,
Yeah.
so this is. And then after that, I was kind of looking more like, where can I find a Buddhist center? Where can I find a place to go and know? First of all, it's knowing, because it's a lot of unknown for me. So that's when it starts, like the search for mindfulness.
Yeah. Here, Margaret is saying that it was a great benefit to her going to the health village as well. And then David is listening as well, and meanwhile, a few other members listening from other places. Just to let you know, let all you know that if you have any questions or anything that you want to ask Carina, you can post. So we will go on as well. So this is just a personal journey with the Carina. And now you are hearing what she has felt and how she came to meditation. So how long you've been meditating? Let's say how long you've been practicing since you met in Mindful Mondays.
The Mindfulness Mondays. I mean, it's a bit more than a year and a half, if so. And it was very funny, because I really wanted to start the course with mindfulness, because I think it would be a very good introduction to get me more into it, and for me to see, like, is this really what I want, or what is going on here. So when I started, I had because I was living by myself with my son, I had to ask friends to stay with him so I could go to the course. And I was like, maybe I should just stay with him and not going, but I really wanted to go. So in the end, like, when David was always saying that, in the end we will have like a 2 or 3 hours retreat in the center, and I was really looking forward for it. And then the pandemic happened, and I was like, oh no, so now that's it. Now we stay like that, and like, I'm gonna meditate like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but like, it would be easily dropped. Even although David was great as well. He was answering emails, he was providing all of these guided meditation videos, like, but I wanted more than I wanted. Sorry, there is a bit of interference. I wanted to pass to the religious side of mindfulness as well. So it was actually David that said that, sent an email and said the Varapunya Meditation Center is starting these sessions online with guided meditation, and so that's when I started to follow you on Facebook.
I think I remember very day when David was introducing this mindfulness 6 weeks course, and then when he mentioned about it on that day, you were there as well. There was another lady as well. I forgot her name, and then I saw the eyes were like a big. Okay, when it's gonna start? How can I put my names? And then David was saying, "Oh, it's gonna start soon." But you can, and then you just immediately gave your name.
That's true, because it was just in the last session, in the last mindfulness session before the end of the year. So we were going to ping with the madness, let's say, of uncertainty, that nobody knew, that every day was changing rules, and then being in the house, working from home with a 4-year-old around, that you cannot really work. It was so weird, and I really remember thinking, like, oh, but is everything okay? In the end, like, we are not sick, we have food, we have a house, everything is fine. And now we have Ajahn on Facebook Live every day. We can do if we can do guided meditation, that's it. That's all good. It's all good. Now
Yeah,
it was
I remember when I started giving this Facebook talks every day from April, beginning of the April 2020. I was little hesitant as well, you know, and then gradually people grow and grew and grew, and then there was
yeah,
some point people were listening up to 300 to 400, and within a night there were about
yeah.
600, and I was like, wow, you
And
know.
from everywhere, from all over the
Yeah,
world, not
yeah,
just
yeah.
Aberdeen.
Not just from Aberdeen, it's like exposed to the whole world. The people from Europe, America, Australia, India, Nepal, everywhere were listening. And then people were questioning and sending questions. And I felt like, goodness, now I have to continue. And then there were a moment that everybody began to ask, Achan, will you continue? Will you continue?
Yes, because it's like everybody was like to. That was like a hope.
Yeah. And so this is how it happened. So during this pandemic time, so as you said that this meditation has helped you. So can
Yeah.
you tell us a little bit more on that, how it helped you, and how much you got benefit from the daily practice? As you mentioned that early on, you know, after the course you have done, you were not able to come to the temple to study another one retreat, but
Hmm.
yet you maintain the practice at home, and having this opportunity to practice with Facebook Live, it boosted furthermore. So can you tell us a little bit on that?
Yes, yes. So what happened is then when I start the meditation course and the Facebook guided meditations, um, it's kind of the time that you spend. For if I was focusing, for example, in my breathing, um, the time was passing faster. Before I had kind of a timer, an app for meditation. That was David that said it as well. And I had like the timer, and I was like kind of trying to open my eyes and see how it's passed, how much. And that is a thing that go and improves.
Mm-hmm.
One, like staying and focus in the main object. The other thing is that it's difficult. We don't stop thinking, we just thinking even more. and and we kind of know how to control, not how to control, we learn how to control now,
Aware, how to
how
be
to be
aware.
aware. Exactly, thank you. How to be aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was starting to notice as well, it was if there was something going on in my head during all day, like a question or something, how am I going to do this or that, or I don't know, some kind of issue. At the time of the meditation, I was like, okay, I'm going to sit now for half an hour and I'm going to meditate and I'm going to focus in the breathing. And somehow I would forgot about it. And
Mm-hmm.
once the meditation finished and I was going back to do my dinner, etc., it was kind of, if the answer suddenly came, it was like if it was like if a change in the way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like for example, yes, maybe I'm having this problem with this person because maybe this person is trying to show me something else that I am not realizing. Things like that. This
Mm-hmm.
is just an example, and that will start to make me realize that it was calming the mind. It was calming my mind, having that half an hour daily.
Mm-hmm.
I would see it like later on or in the next day, but it was definitely kind of helping me structuring and organizing
Mm-hmm.
my head, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other thing as well is that the part of be aware, it was really important for me,
Mm.
because this was the time when the negative thoughts and the bad thoughts came, And sometimes I think, oh no, I'm not gonna think about it now. And it's not about that. It's not about erase them. That thoughts is, as you say, is acknowledge them. It's like, yes, okay, that thought is here now, but it's not the time to think about it. There's no sense of thinking about it now, and it just kind of vanish, and there is another thought to come. So we have to deal with a lot. But yes, it's the improvement that I notice is how I started to get my thoughts structured or organized, if I can say organized, like in a way.
Yeah. And now we are just coming out from this lockdown here in Aberdeen and in the UK. Meanwhile, there are other countries, they are going through this lockdowns, like in Thailand or Nepal or in Asian countries, due to this COVID-19 spreading new muted viruses. So,
Yes.
as you have gone through, and meditation has helped you immensely during those such a stressful, uncertain time, what would you suggest for those who are listening, let's say from other parts of the world?
Well, I think, first of all, I think we are quite privileged here in Europe
Mm-hmm,
because people in other countries, with big countries like in Asia, Thailand, Nepal, India, even South America, I don't know, Africa, they deal with the pandemic in another dimension that
mm-hmm,
we are not aware in here
mm-hmm,
at all. So these people already live it much more difficult than
mm-hmm,
us, and keep them there like that. It's just a sign of strength and resilience. And
mm-hmm,
if they can take that, and yes, I mean, sometimes I feel like um, pointless in saying this, but it's really important finding a time to sit
mm-hmm.
and to be with ourselves.
Yeah.
If we don't want, if people don't want, or don't want to mention meditation, or just to be with ourselves, because
Mm-hmm,
it's stressful. What is out there is really stressful, and
mm-hmm,
I think if we stop for 1 minute, 5 minutes,
mm-hmm,
it things become slightly lighter
mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
our mind,
Uh-huh. Uh,
and it's with our mind that we make our decisions. So it's better to be a rested one than a
uh-huh.
stressed one.
Yeah, I
Mm.
hope that the people, those who are listening, will take it and spend some time, stop, and spend time for themselves, and using this time as a time of uncertainty, uh, and wisely using it for their benefit, isn't it?
Yes, and
Mm,
the other thing as well is that when I say like to spend time with ourselves, it may look selfish, but it's not at all.
mm,
It's totally the opposite,
mm,
because it's by starting knowing ourselves that we actually can give the hand to others.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so it's when I say spend time with ourselves, it's not about being selfish and just, oh,
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
me.
yeah.
It's just help us understand us, and
Mm,
lately understand
mm,
the
yeah,
others.
yeah. So since you have been to Thailand and you have been practicing meditation and been listening so many talks from me throughout the last year on a Buddhist ethics and the different aspects of Buddhism, and now, if I may ask, what do you think of Buddhism?
Um, I think, as you said, um, there is people that take Buddhism as a philosophy,
Mm,
as a way of living, and it becomes a religion if you start to practice it. But we can practice Buddhism even without being wanted to being Buddhists, if you know what I mean. Because if we are following the 5 precepts, we are already practicing Buddhism, even if we are not Buddhists, if you know what I mean. And the 5 precepts, it kind of looks logical, but it's difficult as well. You know, like the right livelihood, the right understanding, the right speech, etc. For example, the right speech for me sometimes is difficult because there is because
that's very good that you say sometimes.
Yes, because yes, because people generally people to release their frustrations, sometimes it's in the way they speak and in all of that swearing and so that is a difficult that is a difficult one actually. But yes, I mean we can definitely practice Buddhism without being Buddhists.
Okay. What do you see a difference between that the Catholics that you were brought up and now in Buddhist practices?
The main thing that I see is like there is no people in Buddhism follows a man that exists at some point, and he always put himself as a man. And in Catholicism, people follows a God, so it's always what is most important. It's following the God, and the God can punish you if you don't do the right things, and that's a big difference here because we are no gods, we are people. So and the other thing as well is that what I found is in Catholicism we are venerating a God, so we kind of forget a bit about ourselves. And we get concerned a lot about the others. And the principle in Buddhism is the opposite. You think first about yourself and then on the others, and then you can give to the others. So it's that's what makes me want to explore more this path, because Buddha was a man, was a common mortal. He was not following any God, and he's speaking through his own experience. And as a human being, we can experience that things as well. I mean, not all of us are going to be enlightened, which is a shame. But eventually, yes.
Yeah.
But if you understand what I mean, like that is more credible for me following a man, a human being.
Yeah, and then before you coming to the temple, lockdown happened and you missed the temple, but somehow when there was a chance, you did manage to come to visit temple with your son.
Yes.
And then recently, after the lockdown eased, you have spent some times in the temple practicing meditation.
Yes.
Well, would you like to share some of that insights of, let's say, how excited you were when you came to temple, and how expectations or what were your thoughts when you stay at the temple?
Yes. So when I first went, again, I was like, I just didn't want to make anything wrong, like in terms of try to be respectful, because there are some things like the taking out of the shoes, the don't pointing the feet, etc. So there is a lot of things that I didn't know. So I was always trying to be careful with that, and it was really important for me to go there to practice in a real temple, to see the difference. And what I notice as well is that the time passes differently in the temple. It's maybe because when I go there or when I am there, it's kind of now I don't have to think in anything of, like, as you said, sometimes in the guided meditations, put your responsibilities aside. So that what was attracting me as well. It's kind of it's just me now here. It's and again, for example, it's different. For the walking meditation, for example, for me was to do the walking meditation in the center without being by myself, trying to do it at home or something. It's different. It's kind of I get more focus. It's kind of easier for me than the seated meditation, because it's like my mind is focused on walking. So if there is thoughts coming to distract, I will get unbalanced, and so yeah, but going to the temple was definitely important for me to understand. To understand, and like when we bow and do the venerations as well, I wanted to do it, but I wanted to know, what am I doing? What does the word means? So yes, that is important for me to put it all together. Let's say.
Yeah. So, and then that weekend, how did you manage, and what did you do?
So it was surprisingly easy for me to get detached from the cell phone.
That's a good one.
I was concerned. My main concern was like the monks don't have dinner at night. And
were you expecting a dinner, or were you thinking of cooking a dinner to a monk?
Yes, I haven't thought about it actually, but I knew that you wouldn't have dinner, but I didn't know about if I could take the 5 precepts or the 8 precepts, and in the 8 precepts we wouldn't be eating as well. And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna do it. And it was not difficult at all, because it's kind of, if we are meditating, it's kind of, if our energy is kind of conserved, we don't waste much physical energy. So it's kind of, oh no, I'm fine. I actually don't feel hungry at all.
I think that's the most hard part for so many people. Whenever they ask, whenever they come to stay in a temple, and then we normally say, okay, would you like to observe 5 precepts or 8 precepts? And they will say, what is the difference? And I normally say, oh, the difference would be not eating afternoon. And then, no, I can't do that. But some do volunteer like you did, and then you realize the eating is not the trouble.
It's not. It's really how you put your thoughts in order. So it was not difficult. And the phone as well, like I decided, like, I'm gonna disconnect the phone. It's just the weekend. I would not be working anyway, so there is no point of having the phone on. And it's completely different. But
okay, it seems like her internet down now. She is off. Hope she can join again. So here comes. Yeah. Okay. So she's back here now again.
so yes, although we don't have dinner, the members do really good food.
Yeah.
I was that's one of the things that I like when I am traveling to different countries, is to try the food from the country, and to try the food from the country where the people from the country are gonna have food, not the touristic places, because it's completely different. And that weekend it was this family from Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the combination of flavors that exist in the Asian cuisine, like fresh spices, vegetables, everything. I really like it. So I didn't have dinner, but I really enjoy the lunches.
Yeah. So that's why we are very lucky actually in our temple that we have got so many members are bringing, or if they can't come, they normally will send some money through the bank, asking us to buy pizza or any other food, like that. And so that's why we are very lucky so far. And despite of this pandemic and difficult time, monks have got abundant of food, and people are always so generous to bring and donate, offer as a dana. Obviously, this is one of the part of the practices in Buddhism that we have to learn to give a dana, and which is the first ladder that we have to learn to practice. And which again, I think is a very crucial part for the spiritual development, and which we can see that ever since, despite of these difficulties, monks have got abundance of food every single day. And again, all the members do know that monks are not going to eat a lot, but still bringing too many.
Yeah.
And then the monks are not going to eat dinner either, so and still too many there. And quite often I have to take it to other members, spreading it to other members when there are none. And as you have correctly said, we do have a varieties of food every time, like Sri Lankan food, Indian food, Thai food, British food, and a pizza, obviously. And then meanwhile, now we have this ceremony coming up on Sunday. So if any of you would like to test any different types of varieties of food, you must come during the lunchtime. So now this is the effort. So you will be testing Sri Lankan food, British, Thai, maybe Chinese, and obviously English food. But maybe you will also see varieties of desserts as well. So if you want to test it, please do come. Empty. Do not take a breakfast. Do not take a breakfast and come.
That is very good to see the generosity of the members, and that is a thing that I notice as well in Thailand. People is very generous. Like naturally, if they don't, and it has to be like it has. I think it has to do with Buddhism. That is the main religion there. That so they are always very generous.
Yeah. So we are coming to the end, nearly end, and there are Margaret is saying that's a very interesting talk. David is watching, and meanwhile other members here, some Thai people watching and saying thank you and call namaskar as well. So we just remind you, all those who are listening, that this is a personal journey with Carina. This is the first time, and possibly we'll come back again in the future with other discussions. Before we say goodbye, again, Carina, would you like to give some suggestions or tips on a practice, or let's say to practice Buddhism, or if those who are listening, they never heard about Buddhism or meditation, how would you introduce?
The only thing that, because sometimes people are desperate or are very stressed, and I had a couple of friends that were talking and saying it, and I can recommend them, and I can say, look, this is good, it will make you like improving. And
Mm.
sometimes they said, yeah, but the other people will continue the same. And I said, yeah, but it's you that change, it's not the other people. It's
Yeah.
you. And sometimes people are just not ready, because, and probably they will be ready in other time.
Hmm.
uh, and But I really think that when people say, oh, I don't have time, or I think that is like the mind manipulating, is like kind of, oh no, like, don't do that. Don't have to, because we have time, and we can find time, and it starts with minutes.
Yeah.
It starts with minutes, yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, that
It's
is, sorry, yeah.
sorry. It's about how do we organize the time? Time is equal to all, isn't it? It's
Yes,
and
exactly.
which how we prioritize which one we should be prioritizing. So yeah, like that. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, but yes, that is my main advice, and as well, it's progressive. It's
Hmm.
not a thing that we get from one day to the other. And
Hmm.
here it's where I found as well that I can develop my patience
Hmm.
as well, because people like immediate cures and everything, and it's a journey.
When you say about the cure, do you want to share any particular story about your own experience, how meditation helped you?
Um,
Like going to Glasgow for the surgery or something, or
yes,
talking to a mom, or
yeah,
dealing with the children.
yeah. I mean, yeah. But yes, going to Glasgow to do this heart surgery, I was really scared, um, because I don't like needles, I don't like hospitals, so I was going all over and super stressed, and I was trying meditating, and sometimes I could not focus on it all. It was just like, and then I had a talk with you.
Mm.
I saw a talk with you and the venerable monk that I don't remember his name. I'm so sorry. Um, but I asked him a question about
Chittadhammo.
how do we overtake our fears,
Hmm.
and then you said something as well that was what did the click in my brain. It was
Mm.
like the unknown is fear, the known is light.
Mm.
So if I knew already what I was going to, like I shouldn't be like that.
Mm.
So and that helped me. Um, that helped me actually, like to fight the fear. Is like, yes, I mean,
Mm. Yeah.
I cannot do anything else. I'm gonna trust in the competent people to do it, and if they are
Mm.
competent enough, I'm gonna be alive in the in the in the end of this. So
Uh,
yes, and
okay.
it helps me a lot. And I was doing the meditation as well, and I was very calm, for
Mm.
my surprise, in the operation day.
Hmm.
Yeah, and with my son as well, like this. this impulse that I have sometimes of raging and scream at him. And sometimes sometimes I just see it coming. Is like I'm getting so furious, and it's not his fault. And like it's just like a step back and breathe in, and it's the ability of I started to notice it that that makes me develop it even more with the practice of the meditation.
So obviously it's practice makes perfect, and the more you practice, gradually you will see the changes in yourself, isn't it?
Yes, it's a journey.
So it's a journey that one has to walk on.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, our time is about to end. So this is a personal journey with the Carina, and this is the first part, and probably in the future we'll come back again. So I would like to thank you, Carina, for sharing your experience and your insight into the practice and how meditation has helped you throughout this time of the pandemic and dealing with life situations. And also personally would like to thank you for all the support to the temple that you have been providing and giving and visiting throughout this time. So
thank you, Ajahn.
unfortunately we have to end here now, so thank you, Carina, and wish you all the best. And meanwhile, all the listeners, may you all be happy and peaceful. And this is the end for today. And next week on Friday, we'll come back with other person, or possibly with the same person. Until then, so good night. And in a few moments' time, we will have the evening chanting and guided meditation. So you're most welcome to join with us. Until then, good night and see you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Satu.
Thank you, Carina. Thank you, everyone. Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you. Good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.